Hello and welcome to episode 6. We have 3 more to go. For those of you that are putting yourself through this, and those of you that have got this far, congratulations. You will see now it's almost pitch black outside. I am recording these all in one sitting. Most of them have been done in one take, and we are not making too much of a fuss about the audio quality or the video quality. I'm just trying to get some content out there that might be helpful. You can take a little snippet for your business and hopefully help you do more. I do now look at the window. For those of you watching on or listening on the podcast, we are recording video as well, and this is going to go on YouTube, so go and take a look. But now I've got the window open and no blind down and it's dark. I always have this thing that I just think there's going to be a head pop up behind me, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I sit here at the minute most nights. Most of you know that I'm a bit of a night owl, so tending to start work about 9 or half 9, maybe 10 some days, and I don't really get myself down about when I start. It doesn't really matter to me. I try and help the team. Most of the team are early birds, so I do like to try and get up and answer any questions that they've asked from the emails that I probably bombarded them with at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I will sit here and usually about 1 o'clock, for whatever reason, my brain really kicks into gear and I get into overdrive and do a chunk of, I tend to pick the really boring tasks there, if we're updating products on a website or maybe doing some SEO work and it's a bit, labor intensive, that's when I tend to do these jobs. And I pick this time, it's about 8 o'clock on an evening to record my podcast. It's time when I tend to drift off into the TV or something like that, and then think, right, really need to get my head down now, clear the emails for before I start the day tomorrow and get on top of what we did. So in this episode, we are going to talk about getting online. Is there any better time than now to get yourself online and get your online presence sorted? No matter what your business, I don't think there's any excuse nowadays to not be online. Even if it's just a free Google My Business listing where somebody says where your business premises is, you have to be online. We need an email address, we need a telephone number, we ideally need a website where we can find more information about your business. The people now who say to me they don't need a website, to be honest, are, few and far between. Most people understand it. They accept that they've never bothered getting around to it, or they've set up their business a year ago. They tried to build something in Wix or Squarespace and never quite knew what they were doing, got distracted in their business and cracked on. And we would advise, I see some great success from a lot of people that one of their first steps is to come to somebody like us. They come and ask for help. Now, the help might not be that they need a website straight away, but the fact that they're asking for help and advice on things that they can do, depending on their budget and depending on their situation, we can give them advice to suit. If they have zero budget, I might be saying, right, go and have a look at Wix or Squarespace if you have time and no budget. And do that, or we can give you a template to start building from and host it on our server. But you might just best be starting on Google My Business, or getting a Facebook page up and running, or use your personal social media to start promoting your business. So there is no time right now to get online. If you are a business that's been trading for a long time, use this opportunity to get yourself organized and get yourself online and get yourself sorted. If you do not know where to start, come and ask for some help. Asking for advice is not going to cost you anything. Ping us an email, send us an email to either callum@morganbranding.co.uk, CALLUM, or just our info at Morgan Branding. We pick them up as well. So info@morganbranding.co.uk. We have lots of tips on our website, but there's no better time than now to come and ask us a question of this is my business. What are the best ways to get going? And most of you that have dealt with us know that we don't just, sell you things for the sake of selling. We don't just sell you things that necessarily make you money. I'm going to try and give you the best advice for your business to help you grow it, because I just think always long term is that if I can give you some advice that helps you grow your business now, you'll come back to us or you'll recommend us to a friend. And that, for me, is worth more than trying to squeeze every penny out of you on our first conversation. So there are loads of ways to get online. I've mentioned Google My Business several times. So for those of you that struggle remembering things, I always think if you listen to a podcast or listen to a YouTube video, is try and have a notepad nearby, or I use Siri on my phone and set a reminder. So I'm not going to say it now because Siri will wake up next to me on my phone, but I'll be like, insert word of device there. Set me a reminder to look at X at 10 p.m. tonight or 7 p.m. tomorrow or in a week's time, and 90% of the time then remind us, get it right. And even if it's close enough, I remember what that meant. So if I'm listening to a podcast now and somebody's just said, go and have a look at Google My Business, write it down, put it somewhere. And what does that mean? Do I email Callum and say, what's Google My Business? Well, you can, but there's a great website. And whenever we provide training to companies or training sessions to clients that we work with, I always remind people of the website that we probably all use every day, which is called Google. And before asking your question to me, often a good place to start with asking your question is to Google. So how do I set up a Google My Business account? You will find that answer very quickly. And away you go. It's free. You don't need to pay somebody like us. We do it for people that want us to help them with it. But I would say to people, if you are somebody that is struggling to take on any more work and wants to, doesn't want to go through the learning curves of these things, yes, pay an expert. If, it takes you an hour to do it and we charge you 50 quid to do the job and you would charge your time out £100 an hour, to me, it makes sense to pay us to do it. But if you're somebody that's just starting up and doesn't necessarily have a big budget, then dive in and learn it yourself. So Google My Business is free. It's a great first step in getting some online presence sorted. Now, we also use a website called Moz Local, M-O-Z Local. And Moz Local is great for looking at what your local listings say. So if you are any sort of business that relies on their location to sell their services, so whether you're a pub, a locksmith, a barbershop, a hairdresser's, a supermarket, a restaurant, whatever you are, where your location is key to where you are, then your local listings now are very important. So Google My Business, which is the first thing I mentioned, is a free local listing on Google. I don't remember the stats. I'm not going to quote them because I'd be guessing anyway, but the vast majority of us use Google as a search engine. But there are other places that people search for information, whether that be Yahoo or Bing, or the millions of like local listing sites like Squarespace, not Squarespace, that's a website, Foursquare, Yell, and places like this. So what Moz Local does is it allows you to have a look at your online presence and make sure it's consistent. So what we would say is have a logo that you use across all platforms that is the same. And if you change your logo, change it on all your platforms. That the business name is consistent, that the business address is consistent, that your telephone number is consistent, that your website address is consistent. And this is a great job that you can do now that's free. It takes a little bit of time to go through. You know all your company details. It doesn't take long to do once you've got your logo and any images that you've got of your business to hand, and get all these listing sites up to date. Now, there are other benefits of this, obviously, aside from having all your information correct in different places, is that it can help with SEO and SEO is search engine optimization and driving traffic to your website. If you can be found in more places, then it naturally makes sense that you will get more traffic. So it's not just a customer service thing, this, to make sure the information is correct, because what the internet, what the internet does, the internet doesn't do it. The service providers on the internet nowadays scrape the data. So you want to be in control of that data. And by managing your own listings, you will be in control of that data. So it's very important to go and have a look online and see what it says. So both them options, Moz Local has a free option, Google My Business, free option, Bing Listings, free options, Yell, free options. I'm not saying go and spend any money on these platforms. I'm just saying free options, great place to get started. The next place after that is I would touch on is social media. And there's 2 or 3 strings to this bow, I would say, nowadays. If you're somebody starting their own business, is look towards your own personal social media profiles. Now, I know a lot of people say, my personal is my personal, my business is my business. When you're running your own business, your business is your life for most people anyway. And you will be amazed by the amount of people that don't know what you do if you haven't told them. Now, that sounds obvious when you say it. If you don't tell somebody what you do, they don't know what you do. So occasionally posting and asking your friends and family to share what you do with other people, you would be amazed how far that goes. The amount of tags that I get on Facebook for people when they ask for website services, logo services, graphic design services we can't offer, but people tag me because they think I'll be the person that'll be able to find the answer. That is an amazing source of leads, is that I don't have to do anything. I can be sat on my phone on a Saturday night, my phone will ping 3 times, and I've been tagged in 3 different groups, and 3 different friends have sent me links from Nottingham, from London, from Wales, from Warrington, from Manchester, because in a local group, somebody has asked a question and they think that I'll be able to help with the answer. The only way that they know that is because I harp on and harp on and harp on, whether it be on my social media, whether it be when you see me in the pub, whether I'm walking around my village and I've got my hoodie on. People know what I do. Now, for some people that annoys them. I've had some people tell me that it annoys them, and I've got thick skin, and it's my business, and it pays my bills, and it keeps the lights on, and it keeps my staff employed. And I understand that if you work for a company and you've only ever felt what it's like to work for somebody and, get your wage in every month, that you may not understand how stressful it can be running your own business, how tough it can be. But for me, I put myself and my staff first. Is the most important thing for me is that if I can shout about it and I can get one new website in, that I didn't have before. One website for us, do a great job on that, leads to another website. When we first grew our business, 99% of the work came from my local network of people, or my staff's network. Now we've grown to their referral network, so where we've done a great job for them, they've passed us on to their network, and it's growing from there. But what we always need to remember is that, and I give myself this tap on the shoulder every so often, make myself do it, is to remind everyone what we're doing, what we're looking at, who we're helping, how we're helping them, and ask the question. Just simply ask people, if you see somebody asking for these services, can you tag me? Can you send me the post? I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. That's all. You don't have to pay them. You might want to pay them and thank them and buy them a pint next time you see them. But just asking the question, and most of the nice people in your life will help you. I've seen a lot of people during coronavirus asking people to like their page and share their page. That's great. But just like in the Facebook page now, as you see, I've talked about coming from your personal profile and sharing what you do on your personal profile. The reason is your organic social page, especially on Facebook, will just get no traction at all, really. So even all these new people that are liking your page, if they don't interact with your posts and they're not interested and they're not your target audience, there's almost no point in having them likes. So I would really focus in on asking them to help you by sharing posts potentially, but really tagging you when people ask for something that is to do with your service, reminding them what you do so they can tag you. So use this opportunity to look at organic social media, which is free. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, wherever you want to go. We always say pick 1 or 2 and do them well. Don't try and do everything badly. It just doesn't work. Pick a platform that you enjoy, and but also pick a platform where your customers are, and I wouldn't necessarily, if I was trying to advertise care homes, look towards TikTok at the minute, but obviously this pandemic is causing different things to happen, so TikTok is probably going to age up quicker than it was. But really, TikTok and Snapchat are at the younger audience, so think about that and how you're using these platforms to communicate with people. One of the key areas that we advise, aside from personal Facebook, free social listings, is communities, groups, Facebook groups, forums. Historically, forums were a great place to share your knowledge and therefore get work. Nowadays, a lot of these forums have moved to Facebook groups. There are still little niche communities that may be on Twitter or forum platforms that you may need to go and hunt out or be aware of. You might have local networking groups that have their own, forum or WhatsApp groups or whatever it is. Facebook groups in general, though, are fantastic, I would say. And this isn't about going in and sharing what you do in that Facebook group, like I said, to do on your own personal wall. This is about going into the Facebook group and sharing knowledge and helping people, and maybe looking in them groups of people that are looking for your services. Get involved in a community that may have your customer in there, and get involved and help them, and you'll be amazed at the results. Them groups or Facebook groups have generated so much revenue for us over the past 12 to 18 months. And it's really through going in and helping. It's through the people in the groups knowing what we do as a company. So when they see other groups, people talking about things that we might be able to help with, they tag us and use us, as their go-to person for a variety of services. Often for us it's websites and logos that get tagged in the groups, but there are a variety of other things that we get tagged in to help people. So get involved. So these are 3 ways that I've just given you advice on how to get online. At the start of this episode, you probably thought I was going to say, build a website and do all that, and that, it's important. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of you are saying to me at the minute, you don't have the budget, you don't know how to build your own website, you don't want to build your own website. So I would do these things first if you're starting a business. If you're a business that's already established and you're not doing them three things, is dive in and do them. And if you can, have a chat to us about your website, and instead of maybe trying to go at your own and struggling through and never quite getting there, building your own website with maybe Wix or Squarespace or one of these platforms, get in touch, see what we can do to help. We can do affordable packages, we can cut these into monthly payment plans. We will help you get that website live that you've been trying to do for a year or 2 years, or update your website that's been in the pipeline for 5 or 10 years. Leave that problem to us, and you get out there and sell and have a beautiful website that you can send your customers back to, that will help you in that selling process and help you adapt in this time, which the world is changing quickly. So hope you enjoyed the episode. The next episode is to remember the new unique selling point that we are all going to have in our businesses is, what are we doing to keep our customers safe? What are we doing to keep our staff safe? And that we create more ethical businesses that are putting safety and the health and safety and the health, health and safety is a frowned upon topic in some instances, especially 2 or 3 years ago. I think that is changing more and more. But the health and safety of our staff and the health and safety of our customers now is more important than ever. And what measures can you put in place as a business to look after your staff and look after your customers, and what impact will that have on your business? So I hope you can join the next episode. I'm going to have a 2-minute break and have a little drink, and then I'll be back to record the next one. Cheers.